Hi everybody, this is Richard Slay, and I'm going to talk about metronomes today. This is the metronome I bought many years ago and was my first metronome. It's a super mini Toctel, and it's mechanical. You wind it up and cut it loose, and it keeps beat. When you move the weight up, it slows down. Okay, so I bought this metronome and I had high hopes of becoming a better person and musician. And I used it for a while and then I quit. And I quit using it for two reasons. I began hating this thing, and one reason was because it was boring. And the other reason was that it was defective. It would speed up and slow down when I was trying to play, and that drove me crazy, and it was too late to return it because I'd been using it for a long time. So I just got stuck with this thing, and I finally just put it away and forgot about it. Okay, fast forward many years later, I was talking to a friend of mine, Harry Werner, who's a great bass player, and I asked him about timing and how he learned to get so good at it as part of a rhythm section. He said metronomes. I said, metronomes? I said, I had one, I hated it. He says, yeah, most people hate metronomes, but here's what you do. He said, count on the 2 and the 4. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you have a hard time starting with the 1, 2, 3, 4, then don't try to start with 1, start with 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you've got the accent on the backbeat, which is what most blues and rock and roll music is. So now you've got not only an anchor and a backbeat, but you've got some space where the 1 and the 3 are, and that's the space you play with. So you've got the 2 and 4, and that's your anchor, and then you've got your 1 and your 2, and you knock that against the 2 and the 4, and that's how you get your swing. So you get this balance between predictable and unpredictable. Are you going to rush the beat? Are you going to drag the beat? What are you going to do? So when you do that, now you've got a game. 2, 3, 4. And the other thing I learned was that my metronome, the old one, was not defective. It was me. I was the one that was speeding up and slowing down. And it's a very common hallucination when you start playing with a metronome, is that the thing is speeding up and slowing down. But I have yet to actually find a metronome that does that. Anyhow, so a couple examples of ways to play with the metronome to make otherwise boring stuff into a game. So here's a scale. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I get a rhythm going. So I'm shifting my weight from side to side. 1, 2, 3. So you get the idea. When you do this, then you can work on the scale pattern as well as different ways of playing with your timing. And it's a lot more fun than just going because you tend to slow down in the hard parts and speed up in the easy parts, and then you end up, maybe you learn to scale, but you don't learn to swing with it. So the metronome keeps you honest, and it slows you down when things are easy, and it gets you going when things get rough. So it smooths everything out the more you use these things. So let's see, I'll play a couple more things. Rhythms. 4, 1, 2, 3. You notice I screwed that up a little bit when I first started playing that triplet rhythm. I'm still woodshedding with this thing, and I will be for the rest of my life, because it's a challenge. And as you get comfortable with something, if you speed it up a lot, you're in a whole new ball game. And if you slow it down a lot, same thing. It's actually very hard to play something extremely slowly and keep your timing right on the money. So these are all things you can play with the metronome, and you can take stuff you already know and see what happens when you work with the metronome. Like this is a little bit of my bass. 2, 3. See, I can't even figure out how to get going with this thing at the moment. I'm going to speed it up a bunch more. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You get the idea. You take something you're familiar with and start playing it at a different speed, and suddenly it's a whole different thing. So it's a lot of fun once you know the secrets. And the secret is play on the every other beat. Play the metronome on every other beat. With most stuff, with rock and roll, with blues, stuff like that, it's going to be on the backbeat. So you'll be counting on the 2 and 4. And then you knock the beat on the other one, on the 1 and 3. So, hope that gives you some ideas, and I'll be back with more.